The YouTube commentary community space is a literal fucking joke now. I can't even believe this myself that even though last year I specifically said that I am not a part of the commentary community, but apparently if I make video essays or do some commentary on my own, I'm automatically in the commentary community. That's like saying if I make food for myself and other people, I'm automatically a 5-star chef working at a Michelin star restaurant. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Look, in my past video, I did comment about how politics are currently hurting the commentary community landscape. As such, it is a left-leaning community with no one to fucking watch because most of the people in the community are either too focused on Trump versus Biden, Israel versus Palestine, H3 versus Hasan Piker, and honestly, who gives a fuck? In my past videos, I covered mainly micro-celebrities who baited everyone into joining their pages, covered topics that are quite stupid and outrageous, did my own story times talking about shit that happened to me when I was a kid, even commented a few gaming content creators here and there, and that's something I'm very happy to do because most creators I've been talking about during my time were all gaming related YouTubers. I was going to dive into gaming news, but then guess what? The usual circle jerk of idiots try to take me down. But fast forward to 2025, and there are some new faces I've never seen before, and granted, I really wish I haven't. Some of the good commentary channels I found so far was Technicals, and even then, that guy is obviously killing it. He has done great content, even though he won't accept my kudos, I still feel like he's one of the current best channels that do video essays with that classic peak humor. One of my favorite parts recently was on his Ludwig video, which he said this on the last part.
By the way, this is how you do a content cop, not this shit. None of you are funny.
It's like he decided to wake up and choose violence for this shit. He knows very damn well Cameron's unfunny, but there might be a time where he's gonna make a video of Cameron, so just wait for that. After all, Cameron was in the video game industry by making Yandere Dev, so why can't Tentacles do a video on him? I mean, he does videos of video game drama. But some other commentary channels are just so outright blatantly stupid that I'm so sick and tired of seeing these idiots on my feed 25/8. We are making the wrong people famous for the wrong fucking reasons. And if you want to know, I would add the channels I really despise, but at the same time, I can't really do much because that's just beating a dead horse at this point. And it's not even good for my case or my sake, since they'll think I'll be using their names for the rest of my career, which is not the damn case. However, there are some I clearly want to call out because this is just bullshit. Because in the commentary community, you'll see a bunch of Ethan Klein haters and whatnot. Some of their styles of videos or streams are just questionable at best. The same goes for Hasan Piker haters. And you know, at the same time, it's just way too much for me to handle. I happen to enjoy some channels of both sides, but this is just too much for me to digest. Commentary has evolved into, let me give my surface level opinion about everything, and whoever gives me attention first is getting turned into a 6-hour live stream. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time that some streamers review my video and try to invalidate any criticism I have against everyone. But to those creators, I know you clicked on this video, so today's your lucky day, kids, because I'm going to provide your paychecks for the following days and weeks. Now, for starters, I'd like to add Noah Sampson, Denims, Frogan, and BadEmpanada, just to name a few. Now, these guys are trying to attack H3, and obviously, it's so fucking corny how everyone goes after H3 because apparently he's Jewish and he supports the Israeli government. Even his wife apparently is a part of the IDF, and I mean the Israel Defense Force. Don't get it confused with the one people do support, like the Immune Deficiency Foundation, that people like Iron Mouse do support. Which, by the way, you should support it. We got Noah the XXX lookalike. He might as well be the alt account that Cameron and 305 owns. You know, young Dagger dick. It's pretty fucking clear this guy's a Hasan cornball and has zero fucking talent. All he does is sit around and host streams that take almost 8 hours of your fucking day in order to get to the point. I mean, has anyone ever seen his stream with iDubbbz? That was probably the longest stream in history that I actually fell asleep on my desk and skipped all of it. That's how bad his streams really are. He can't even make summarize streams without finding some very important parts. There's also this clip I'll mention that he said about Cameron, which was mentioned in his Content Deputy iDubbbz video, where Noah said this.
I wanted to bring up, I don't know if you saw the guy who made the content cop about you. Right after the H3 content cop was outed as a
that came
pedophile,
across my feed.
was outed as a child rapist. which is no laughing matter,
Yeah.
but it is crazy, I guess. I don't know.
Now, in this stream clip, Noah tells Ian about the news that Cameron was outed as a child rapist. He didn't say that Cameron is a child rapist, he said that Cameron was outed as a child rapist, and then proceeds to say that's crazy, I guess, I don't know, but of course, Cameron wants to pass it off as actual defamation, which was the same one I talked about in my last video. Noah played with his words very carefully as he didn't know about the news nor didn't want to pursue that as a fact, which is one of the reasons why the defamation lawsuit that Cameron was doing with H3 was a total dud, as it's very hard to prove there's defamation, at least according to that sentence Noah did.
You know, as time goes on, I'm getting more cynical about it, and I'm just like, it's probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to add me onto it. Because defamation's really difficult, and I don't even know if he'll pursue that case. If he does, and he does want me on, then great. And that event is why I'm not going to make any content about Noah.
Now, normally I'd actually understand from Cameron's point of view, but at the same time, there's nothing to be proved, because he didn't mention it as a fact. And as much as I have to make a point to defend Noah just this once, this guy is a total fucking loser. And since he defamed both Ethan and Mudahar, I really hope he loses the case. But I also hope Cameron doesn't fucking join in by Ethan, because I do know the fucking court is gonna investigate Cameron's own actions, even the police report. But considering H3 did unfollow Cameron, well, I don't think that loss is gonna go anywhere about Noah apparently defaming Cameron. Frogan and Denims are also equally ass shit as Noah. Frogan, from what I know, she is, or was, I really don't know, the head mod of Hasan Piker. She's also the reason why we got this clip in the first place, where it sparked into a meme, and it's the reason why I still have it on my soundboard to this day.
Base?
She has talked so much shit about US soldiers and how she's unhappy and how those US soldiers should have died to begin with, and how she has no pity for said US soldiers, and has even posted his Yap Fest. I'm not even gonna read out loud. I think this is some Kino content.
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. US military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
You do have to take this with a grain of salt, but tell me, the US soldiers who fought for your fucking freedom, just so you can enjoy all your foods and drink that you indulge, judging by how you look, Rogan, and yes, I have to make the comment because if I don't, I'm gonna look biased. With that attitude, it's no wonder why nobody likes you, Frogan. And at the end of the day, the fact that Frogan has won the Rising Star Award during the 2023 Streamer Awards is so fucking dumb. No, apparently, she won those things twice! Now, I could be wrong about her winning the awards in 2022 or 2023, or 2023 and 2024, but still. And Denims is also equally as dumb. Being a political commentary channel like Hasan Piker, you have to understand why this is a special case of the stupid. Did I say she was trying to cover the lawyer costs by opening an OnlyFans? I mean, fucking wow. You have to stoop so fucking low and be petty towards someone that the reason why you open an OnlyFans is just so you can profit off a guy's situation. Wait, that sounds very familiar to a case I just reviewed last year. Why? Just why? Why are these girls trying to sexualize themselves on the internet to then win against a guy? It doesn't make any fucking sense! If you're a woman, don't sexualize yourself on the internet and then try to pick fights against someone just because you can. Everyone's gonna see through your fucking bullshit, and they're not gonna buy any fucking sympathy points just so they can purchase your OnlyFans. Not trying to be a misogynist, just trying to prove a point here, if you want to win a battle. Kaceytron is another fucking idiot who has commented about the Ethan Klein situation, who claims to be a variety streamer, but she's just like the rest of these low-quality so-called streamers. Also, she goes out of her way to attack anyone she can, at least according to XQC.
Guys, I know it's hard, okay? Don't let the tears blind you from how low these people stoop when they see an opportunity to strike, okay? They go as low as possible. She did some thing about like Asmon's mom, I'm pretty sure. She tweeted some shit about me when I was going to my court case and my fake shit over. She piled on. Yo, when she sees a weak target, she strikes as hard as she can.
Aside from XQC's obvious stuttering problem, I mean, look, from what I know, this could all be false, but then again, knowing how she apparently went after Asmongold's mom, it's pretty disgusting behavior. Kacey was a titty streamer from back in the day, probably in leagues with that cat thrower Alinity, so you guys already know, I hope you haven't forgotten. And one of the OG lolcows in the 2010s, Brittany Venti, if anyone recognizes that name. Fun fact, I was actually making some commentary about her like 10 years ago when I was actually going to start off my first commentary channel. Back then I didn't know about Birdman, so yeah, that's a little fun fact. This was the peak of YouTube back in the day when you actually had to hate on Brittany Venti just for something. My real life friend actually wanted me to react to Brittany's content and I found it so annoying. This was back when I was in middle school, so yeah. Even though that was my first ever commentary and it's lost media now, technically speaking, my only first journey was actually in 2024. Next one is BadEmpanada, who has kept someone's photo of when they were 15 fucking years old when they were hitting puberty. Roll the clip.
We have other news. Really dark and disturbing news, actually. So, BadEmpanada, I don't know if you know him. His name is George Ganitis, but he goes by BadEmpanada. And he has more or less admitted to possessing child pornography. Has been sharing a shirtless picture of me when I was 16 years old. And he's like rating the attractiveness, right? And he was confronted with the fact that this is a shirtless photo of a 16-year-old boy that he has saved on his phone and that he's sexualizing on Twitter and stuff. And he doesn't care, right? He knows, he probably knew that already, actually. I mean, that's what else is proof of that? He doubled down, and we're going to get into that, but just, I mean, this more, in that qualified sense, he's a pedophile. George Ganitis is a pedophile. BadEmpanada. In that qualified sense, he's a pedophile. What else do you call someone who knowingly has pictures of shirtless 16-year-old boys on their phone, which they're clearly giving sexual context to, right?
Look, BadEmpanada's reason why he fled Australia to then travel to Argentina is because of the fact that he has charges in Australia involving pedophilia, which I'm assuming are the ones involved in that video I just showed you. Again, tweets come and go, they get deleted, or sometimes they usually get spammed half the fucking time because they're idiots, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But the fact that this guy is allowed to stream on YouTube out of all places, well, it fucking bothers me a lot. Then again, this is the same guy who sent 2 human skulls to H3's house, which is disturbing, and has colluded with some people I mentioned earlier to call CPS on both Ethan and Hila because they were feeding and letting their kids play with dog poop, apparently, which doesn't make any fucking sense, and that shit is just disgusting. Their main reason? Because they're both Jewish. The anti-Semitism around these people is insane, because as soon as someone calls out someone else for being anti-Islam, they get cancelled. But when a Jewish person calls out someone for being anti-Semitic, well, they don't get shit. This type of shit happens in every community, not just in the commentary community. But what do these people have in common that they all have? Well, they try to watch a video from Ethan that was recently copyrighted by him, and well, the only reason why they watched it in the first place is just not to give him any views, which, technically speaking, falls under copyright abuse and doesn't fall under fair use. Whenever I make videos, I use clips and pictures under fair use just for commentary, not for harassment and defamation, unlike certain people. So what these people did is that they fell for the fucking bait, and now they're all getting sued by even Klein just because he didn't want to give him any views, to where they have to beg for money just to win a fucking lawsuit. This is the state of commentary, suing for copyrighted content. How sad. That's like saying you're suing Disney because you watched Toy Story 3 on stream and aren't giving any views to Disney because you hate Disney Plus. It makes you sound stupid if you tried to say that. You have to follow the copyright guidelines, otherwise your channel will shut down. You're also going to be faced with multiple lawsuits with that case. So don't do that. I know what Ethan did was messed up, but at the same time, you gotta follow the guidelines. The only way someone can be sued for is if the content is actually copyrighted and aren't using it for the methods that apply to fair use, or if you're actually spreading defamation. These types of streamers are something, and they've evolved to look and follow the most recent trends they can get their hands on. Streaming used to be so friendly back in the day, everyone played together and had a whole load of fun and got along while also developing a loyal fan base, which was pretty good. Now, it's just a war zone to see which one either supports one side of a political agenda and see whoever gets cancelled because they're predominantly right-wing or if they're a Jew. Whatever happened to the streamers who actually had the talent to stream video games? Did they all move to do IRL streams, bathtub streams, live drama, hit pieces, and react content because they can't do anything with their pathetic lives? They bought a streaming setup just to read a live ebook in the form of social media or to hear an Audible book since they can't seem to watch shit and pay attention. That's the Gen Z attention span for you. I mean, fuck, Twitch has become a graveyard where most gaming streamers moved on from the main focus of the website 10 to 13 years ago to now doing stupid shit like harassing people in public while also promoting an unhealthy lifestyle and manipulating the younger audience into more left-wing or right-wing politics. Look, kids don't need to learn about the 600 plus genders around the world or presidency or whatever is happening around the world like wars and such. They also don't need to learn about left-wing or right-wing political agendas. Let them fucking learn the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. And the bad problem too is that sites like YouTube and Twitch are enforcing this type of shit down these kids' brains. Yeah, it's no wonder why the government are forcing these websites to add an age verification system around the world to most social media platforms. They know these websites have let this shit go too far, and the government are all forcing them to add AI age verification. Look, I'm not in support of it since it also messes with free speech, but I'm also not against it since kids can obviously hop on YouTube Kids and watch Cocomelon and also avoid 18 plus content in the process, including these hip pieces which are usually 18 plus, or at least for a mature audience that can actually get it. I mean, fuck, I want an ESRB rating for videos, but if I get monetization, I really wouldn't want to lose monetization if I make a video 17 plus. Fuck, this could actually benefit gaming content creators because they usually play GTA, which is a 17 plus game. Same goes for Phasmophobia. Anyway, I understand both sides, really, but at the same time, I think both sides are the fucking problem in this entire scene. This is a literal double-edged sword, and I have no idea why you guys are complaining and supporting this. I feel like us content creators had a part in this AI age verification stuff, I'm not going to lie. To make sure I don't look like someone who hates Hasan and his supporters like everyone else, I also want to be clear, I don't fucking like both sides. Well look, I respect Ethan as a person, as a content creator. It's also silly to fight fire with fire. I have my reasons why I hate Hasan Piker, but as someone like Ethan who makes his lifelong job about Hasan and his supporters, well, I also don't like that. Cameron F305 comes to mind as an Ethan supporter, and even though I respect Ethan, when he promoted Cameron, I was somewhat happy that someone got the spotlight. However, there's a problem. It also gave him immunity from criticism and actual problems.
So, this dude, Cameron F305, who made the Content Cop parody about Ian, well, he put out his Content Deputy in the same day. And he got more views than Ian's new video. And this dude has... well, he has 51,000 subs now, which is really cool, but he had like 3,000 or something when he started. This got more views than this.
Cameron is doing a fantastic job. I think he's a star.
This frankly shocked the hell out of me that it didn't get more views. I thought more people would show up for this, but you know, that's what it is. Pretty sad state of affairs.
Now, Cameron tried to join the lawsuit against Noah Sampson, but then failed because defamation, as he said it himself, is a really hard case to win against. I spoke about this earlier on the segment of Noah Sampson and on my previous video, but because I feel like I should recap this, let me try again in full detail. The reason why Cameron is, or well, was supportive of Ethan Klein was because he was disappointed at how Ian, aka iDubbbz, made a content cop on H3H3 and made a video about concerned trolling, since both of them used to be longtime friends and has even made appearances in Hasan's streams mocking Ethan. This of course made Cameron pissed off, and it was the reason why Cameron made a content cop on Ian in the first place. It wasn't because he wanted to make a content cop on Ian because of the lack of quality, or because the old iDubbbz is gone. It's because he saw Ian with Hasan, and well, he made the video in the first place. And we fast forward a few weeks later, Noah still hasn't retracted his statement about Cameron, which to be fair wasn't a statement, but I'm assuming Cameron was talking to Ethan during that whole time, but it never went through, because shit like that is very difficult, and considering Cameron's heinous past, even including with Yandere Dev and Yandere Simulator, well, it's no wonder why Ethan unfollowed him afterwards. He made a stream where he made an anti-Semitic remark towards AidenUnderground, calling him a debate rapist and a shifty Jew.
Debate Aiden. There you go. You revealed yourself. Okay. You're retarded. Okay. He can go debate my goddamn sphincter. That guy is a debate rapist and a shifty.
Which, yes, if you look at his mouth, it literally looks like he's saying the word Jew, and then proceeds to talk about the Ethan Klein lawsuit, how he's not able to go through it. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but this is it. I just discovered more evidence that Cameron isn't a true H3 fan. Now, these screenshots I have on screen prove that Cameron was very critical of Ethan until he released a content nuke on Hasan Piker, which makes me think this. Cameron was probably using Ethan to promote the content cop on iDubbbz by claiming he was a super fan of Ethan and used to be a super fan of iDubbbz. By using Ethan's promotion, he essentially got the invulnerability since he was shitting on Ethan, which is a time convenient since Ethan and everyone else were also shitting on Ian in the process. I have to keep editing the video and changing the script since there's more evidence popping up from what I can find, and honestly it's bothering me. And honestly, there could be so much more people. Theoretically, I could mention Tectone, but at this point, I'm at a level where I really don't give a fuck about what happened to or what is happening to Tectone, or let alone about his father, where sometimes he either bashes him for his crimes or praises him as a hero. I genuinely don't fucking care, because aside from platforming Cameron, he himself as a person without his dad hasn't done much that is considerably a danger to society, but I do know he is 100% against Hasan and supports Ethan, so I will say that at least. Asmongold comes to mind, but I'm not sure about anything. There's not much I can look for at his end. My biggest problem is that when it comes to Ethan's supporters, is that they're all labeled as genocide supporters and pedophiles. This is honestly so fucking laughable because the Hasan supporters also have genocide supporters and pedophiles. But keep in mind, I didn't say all Hasan supporters because I don't label an entire circle jerk with names as such. Sure, in both communities there are bad people, but to label one side of the community as everything, well, at that point you're just literally like that Austrian painter. All of Ethan's supporters don't like anti-Semitism from the Hasan supporters. Since those same pro-Hamas supporters are all genocidal freaks, they would rather see an entire religion or an entire country of people just disappear because they believe in a propagandic side. Where ironically, the same Hasan, pro-Palestine and pro-Hamas supporters, most of them are all pro-LGBTQ+. Guess what? The entire Muslim population of Palestine all hate LGBTQ+ groups, since it doesn't go with what the Quran says, and it's essentially an Islam version of a Bible. So you're telling me all these pro-Hasan, pro-Palestine, and pro-Hamas supporters who happen to be pro-LGBTQ+ and belong to those groups and such are all supporting an entire country and a militia group where if they're seen going out kissing the same person of the same sex, they will publicly execute them on the spot because they're gay. That's a lack of self-awareness on that. Dude, those people you support do not like you, period. I have no idea why these idiots think that they can support same-sex marriage are the same people who support the people that are against that idea. That's like trying to trade a WNBA player for a war criminal back in 2022. And who did that? Oh yeah, the left-leaning Democratic Party led by Joe Biden. The same party these people support. Again, I like to reiterate that I'm not into politics. I just find it really funny and hypocritical how these people support a side that, well, that side doesn't support them. They're not going to change their religious beliefs just because you support them. That's like trying to get rid of the racism of a racist. Sure, you made them more friendly towards people of the other skin color they hate, but they still hate their guts just because they're of another skin color. Now, there's a bunch of people who I can criticize all I want. Even if I had a very nice and professional setting with them, there's still some massive flaws seen on their side of how they work. Purple Perry, for example, I like him. He's a drama creator I happen to enjoy from time to time, but some of what he does is a little bit flawed, and some of them are actually correct. Like with the whole Brad Tay situation, he has handled his interview with Tina very poorly, and while I do like the fact that he did listen to me when I spoke to him and when he went after Cameron, there were other things I certainly enjoy about Perry. But at the same time, there's more criticism I can give instead of praise. I'm not trying to burn any bridges with Perry, because let's be real here, me and him are not friends, but I do respect him. Everyone seems to have the same kind of pattern of content creation, where some I enjoy and some I don't. Like AidenUnderground, Queeman, Papa Gut, Westside Tyler, Tommy C. There are some others I really don't like. I might sound like I'm being biased, but I'm being honest. Most of these guys share a common thing, and that's with being overly too dramatic. Some of them are too lazy with their research, or refusing outright to listen to anyone. I disapprove mainly of Papa Gut's stream since he is always so misguided. It's such a fucking problem with him all the damn time. Hell, Enra even provided a video for everyone to watch about Cameron, and Gut still tried to dismiss dismiss it. He doesn't even do research properly. For instance, into the whole Cameron situation, and even sets up interviews with the wrong people or doesn't even hand out interviews unless you join his Discord server. Westside Tyler, for example, tries to go dox other content creators who are of course attacking him, like Flop Block, Cope and Sweep, and Golden Card Diesel, but that I also don't support. But if he does dox them, I'm not gonna look into that information, nor will I care, because they were essentially looking for it at the end of the day, and whatever happens, that is not up to me to talk about. I'm not also sure if it's actually true or whatever. That's what the Flop Block said, so at that point, you're just gonna have to take it with a grain of salt. As for Tommy C, well, it's pretty fucking self-explanatory, especially after given his obsession with technicals, and literally tries to paint Hack's money like the bad person who is being manipulated by tech himself. It's disgusting to see this fucking behavior, and honestly, it seems like there's a reoccurring pattern with all these commentary folks, since they're usually linked to one root problem, and it's always fucking Keemstar out of all people. I'm convinced Keemstar is the patient zero for this commentary play, and it's no wonder why people are so fucking noisy and why some celebrities keep their personal lives private for a fucking reason. Which is what I tried to do, but somebody's assholes already doxed me, so I can't even be private anymore. And no, we're not talking about country, we're talking about cities. Fuck, Rose Malay, who has commented about the Brad Tay situation, always seems to make the situation all about herself. While some evidence about Brad is correct, she mainly kept the evidence about him to herself just as a gotcha in case if Brad ever fucked up. She is so fucking annoying, and she makes not one situation about herself, but it's mostly every goddamn situation. It really makes me want to go explode. As someone once said before a few years ago, commentary is very broad and is connected to many people, but the commentary community has completely ruined, fucked, and has damaged the word commentary so much no one knows what is commentary and what isn't. At this point, it's just YouTubers and other content creators exposing each other, shit-talking each other, and the minute their friend, associate, or a random person screws up, they'll screw over their friend, associate, or that random person in the process. I feel like a hypocrite saying this as I have shit-talked so many people in my videos, but it's true. This is the thing happening in today's community, and I am guilty of that shit-talk and hypocrisy. People are just being hostile with one another to the point where they think that it's okay to dox someone, and then maliciously send packages like human parts off the dark web, or weapons are set to kill as soon as they open the package. You know, it's a fucked up thing in the world that they have to resort to manslaughter just to take someone out of the community, like a certain government who is willing to kill people if they reach 3 strikes. I think everyone in the commentary community deserves criticism. Do I think they all deserve every criticism from these videos? In particular, not really. I just don't like people disregarding what others say because of one-sided evidence sheets. And the only reason why I'm giving these people any attention they'll get until they let the circle jerk glazing like a donut is because these people's responses are so factually bullshit, inaccurate, and fueled by blind left-wing or right-wing outrage that these people make the perfect punching bags to get my points across. And I don't even have to do any extra research to do it. Maybe next time, pick someone around your subscriber or popularity count before you all decide to embarrass yourselves again. My videos aren't about any one channel in particular, but the bottom-feeding commentary channels seemingly have no problem with unknowingly setting their viewers to harass other people in the process. You guys' habit of comment first, research later is probably due to the fact that you know if you waited to know what you were talking about, nobody would give a fuck. I guess somehow when you're making the exact same video as all of your peers, you've got to get ahead somehow. But that's enough rambling for today, obviously. I'm having a lot of fun in New York. Now that instead of a vacation, I actually moved here, so I'm very happy for that. Again, I'm not a part of the commentary community and never was to begin with. I'm not a part of the Hasan or Even supporters. I'm just this private citizen at the end of the day, a regular Joe. Well, in that case, I think my job here is pretty much done. I don't need to do anything else. They're just hitting a self-destruct button as we speak, and it's none of my business. Technically, this is my last video for now. Probably forever, actually. I just booked my first session in therapy, so yeah. Anyway, bye forever.